Today's case, the mysterious disappearance of Dennis Martin. In 1969, 6-year-old Dennis vanished without a trace during a camping trip with his family. Despite an extensive search effort involving over 1,400 people, Dennis was never found. So, what happened to Dennis Martin? Let's dive into the details of this baffling case. Dennis Martin, along with his father, grandfather, and older brother, visited the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee in June 1969. The family hiked from Cades Cove to Russell Field and camped overnight. The next day they planned to hike to Spencefield near the Appalachian Trail, where they intended to spend the night. On June 14, 1969, at 4:30 p.m., Dennis disappeared while planning on surprising the adults with his brother and other children from a separate family the Martins were camping with. After not seeing him for about 5 minutes, and when all of the other children had returned to the campsite, his father became concerned and began searching for him. His father ran down the trail for nearly 2 miles until he was sure he could not have gone any farther. After several hours, they sought help from National Park Service rangers. The search effort for Dennis was the most extensive in the park's history, involving approximately 1,400 searchers in a 56-square-mile area. Despite the effort, no trace of Dennis was ever found. The area where he disappeared is marked by steep slopes and ravines, and wild animals such as bears, feral hogs, and bobcats inhabit the area. A downpour broke out shortly after Dennis's disappearance, dropping 3 inches of rain in a matter of hours, which washed out trails and caused streams to flood. Temperatures on the night of June 14th dropped to nearly 50° F. During the search, footprints were found in the area, but dismissed as being Martin's, and determined by park officials to have been left by a Boy Scout participating in the search. A shoe and sock were also found. By June 22nd, 56 square miles of ground had been covered. More than 1,000 searchers continued to look until June 26th, when the search was cut back. The search was abandoned on June 29th after a last search. 3 main theories exist about what happened to Martin. The first is that he became lost and perished from exposure or some other cause, likely during the first night. This is the most probable theory according to park officials. The second is that he was attacked by a hungry bear, or less likely a feral pig, and carried off. The third is that he was abducted and taken out of the park by something or someone. His father was a proponent of the third theory. On the afternoon that Martin disappeared, tourist Harold Key and his family heard an enormous, sickening scream, and shortly thereafter witnessed an unkempt, rough-looking man running up the trail near where the scream had come from. Park rangers and the Federal Bureau of Investigation concluded that there was insufficient evidence to link the sighting to Martin's disappearance, particularly given that Key's sighting was approximately 5 miles away from where Martin disappeared, the exact time of the sighting being unknown, and the lack of trails connecting the two sites. The unsuccessful search for Martin led the National Park Service to review and amend its policies on searches for missing people. To this day, the case of Dennis Martin remains unsolved, leaving many questions unanswered. The disappearance of Dennis Martin is a haunting mystery that has captivated the minds of many for over 50 years.